Have you ever felt that the older you grow, the more life feels bitter, that despite accumulating experience, knowledge, and even achievements, something within feels dry, joyless, and constricted? Could it be that the real source of suffering is not the world around you, but the narrowing of your own heart? Welcome back to our channel, beloved friends on the journey. Here, we dig deeper than appearances. We strip away the layers of habit, illusion, and self-defense to find what really holds us back from peace. Today, we confront a heavy yet common question. Why does life often feel harder, more bitter, more painful as we age? Why does joy seem harder to reach, even as we seem to know more? Let's explore the answer together, not through theory, but through truth born from reflection. As children, most of us are wide open. We cry easily, laugh loudly, forgive quickly. We marvel at ants, clouds, puddles. Our hearts are wide like the sky. But over time, we learn to defend, to contract, to protect. We get hurt, we get betrayed. We see unfairness, we build walls, and those walls that were meant to shield us slowly become cages. That is the narrowing of the heart. It doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in. One disappointment leads to distrust. One betrayal leads to withdrawal. One failure leads to self-judgment. Slowly, you begin to expect pain, to anticipate betrayal, to look for what's wrong. You lose your softness. You harden. And the world begins to feel hard in return. Let me tell you about a man named Tao. He was in his 60s, wealthy, respected, but deeply unhappy. He had children who rarely visited, a wife who had emotionally left the marriage years ago, and a business that ran like a machine but brought him no joy. He said to me, "I did everything right. Why does everything feel so wrong?" I asked him, "When was the last time you felt wonder?" He couldn't remember. That was the beginning. He began by watching birds every morning. Just that, no phone, no plans, no expectations. At first, it felt pointless, then it felt peaceful. Then he began to cry, not for sadness but because something long frozen inside him was thawing. The silence, the stillness, the simple beauty of flight reminded him of his childhood, of the boy who used to chase butterflies, of the young man who once believed in love, and in that moment, he realized his heart hadn't died, it had just closed. That's what happens to many of us. We stop feeling because we think it protects us, but it only isolates us. Here's the deeper truth. Bitterness is not caused by events. It's caused by how our hearts respond to those events. Two people can face the same tragedy. One becomes softer, wiser, more compassionate. The other becomes harder, colder, more cynical. The difference is not in the pain, but in the heart. So ask yourself honestly, has your heart become narrow? Have you stopped trusting, stopped dreaming, stopped forgiving? Do you expect disappointment more than you expect grace? Do you see danger more than you see beauty? Because whatever you focus on expands. The narrow heart sees enemies where there are friends, sees threats where there are opportunities, sees futility where there is potential. And worst of all, it stops allowing love in. Let's go deeper. What narrows the heart? Pride, for one. The belief that you're right, that you've figured it out, that others are wrong. Pride builds walls. Then comes resentment, the refusal to let go of old wounds. You carry stories like stones. You replay injustices like a broken record. Then comes fear, the fear of vulnerability, of being hurt again. So you retreat, shrink, close off. But here's the miracle. The heart can expand again. Even after decades of contraction, even after years of bitterness, even after lifetimes of pain, the heart can reopen. Not in one dramatic gesture, but in small, consistent acts of courage. It begins with noticing beauty, with sitting in silence, with touching the present, with saying thank you, even when you feel broken, with forgiving even when the other person doesn't deserve it. Not for them, but for your own liberation. A woman I once knew lost her husband in an accident. For years, she shut down. Her laughter disappeared. Her friendships dried up. One day, she saw a child drop their ice cream and cry. Without thinking, she bought the child another. And in that simple act, something cracked. She went home and wept not just for the child, but for herself. That was the beginning of her return. She began volunteering. She began writing letters to her late husband, not to hold on, but to say goodbye. She began planting flowers. Slowly, her heart expanded. One day she told me, "I never thought I'd smile again, but now, I smile every day, not because the pain is gone, but because love is stronger." You see, life doesn't get bitter because of what happens. Life gets bitter when we stop letting love in. So how do we widen the heart again? Start small. Smile at strangers. Say thank you to the sun. Watch the wind. Let tears come. Let songs move you. Hug longer. Forgive faster. Ask people about their stories. Listen more. Judge less. Practice kindness, not to be good, but to stay open. Meditate not to escape, but to feel. Pray not to ask, but to soften. Serve not to fix, but to connect. And most of all, be willing to be touched again. That is the healing. You may say, "But I've been hurt." Yes, you have. We all have, but healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means no longer closing because of it. It means choosing to stay open, even when it's scary. Because a narrow heart cannot hold joy. But a wide heart, even if wounded, can hold everything. So today, right now, begin the return. Begin to peel back the layers of protection. Begin to trust again, not because the world is safe, but because your heart is strong. Let your heart break open. Let it bleed truth. Let it hold beauty. And let it lead you back to the life you were meant to feel. Thank you for watching this video. If something in these words opened your heart just a little, please share your thoughts in the comments. Let us walk this path of reawakening together. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay close on this journey back to love.